Hey everybody, and welcome in to the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you know whenever we are live. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Espo and Gerald Bourget. Gentlemen, how you feeling today?
I'm laughing at the chat because the first comment was like, Memphis is going to destroy us today. And that's kind of where we're all at right now, I feel like.
From Still No Pickles, which I don't know what that means, but I'm all in on it. Look, I'm feeling better than the Suns are health-wise. I mean, I'm here at least. So that's better than 2/3 of the roster.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be a sad night for us. Mostly because, as you said, you're feeling better than the Suns roster. Like, let's just go right into it because this is the topic of the evening for us. The injury report. It's not great for us. Obviously, Cam Johnson is still out. Cam Payne is out with the right foot sprain. Landry Shamet is out with the right Achilles heel soreness. And Devin Booker, he is out with left groin strain. And then on the Grizz side, they're mostly healthy. Danny Green is the only one out over there on that side of things. But the biggest thing here, of course, is Devin Booker. We saw him leave the game on Christmas night. He did not return to that one. And I think the bigger news came from Dwayne Rankin, our friend over at AZ Central. He sent out a tweet earlier today saying that Devin Booker has left the team's road trip to return to Phoenix to get further evaluation. That's not a good sign.
No. I mean, that means he's at least out the next 5. I don't think they're sending him home to bring him back on the road trip. So you're at the minimum, you're not going to see him when he comes until they come home. So I don't feel good about it, but I want them to keep him out as long as it needs to get him 100%. The fact that they rushed him back, in part because I guarantee it was he wanted to play on Christmas, and it's tough to tell Devin no in that situation. Don't rush him back because a prolonged injury beyond this could tank everything. So keep him out until he is perfect Devin Booker. I don't want 94%. I don't want 95%. I don't want 99%. Give me 100% Devin Booker.
Yeah, and we don't know the severity of the groin strain. We just found out that it is, in fact, a groin strain that we're dealing with because previously they had just been calling it groin soreness, which you can't really do anything with that. But we could be looking at a 2 to 3 week absence for him. Like you said, Espo, the fact that he left the road trip to go back to Phoenix for further evaluation is not encouraging. I won't rule him out for good on the road trip because we saw, I think it was last year when he was dealing with something and then they flew him out to Miami for the second night of a back-to-back. And that's kind of when he made his return. But it's not looking good. And they're on this 6-game road trip or whatever it is against some really tough competition. This is really going to put the Suns to the test because we know they're 1-5, I think, this season without Devin Booker. And that's not including the Nuggets game where he only played 4 minutes and was basically not a factor in that game. So this is really going to put this team to the test, force guys to step up. We talked about this after the Christmas Day game. It's just frustrating because we can see individually what guys can and can't do. But at some point, you want to get everybody healthy to see what they can now do in their designated roles, in the roles they'll be filling during a playoff series. So the frustration continues, and this section of the season is really tough if you look at their upcoming schedule. They've got some good teams on the slate. So it's brutal right now.
Well, and the other part of it being brutal is you look at the standings too, and there's so little room separating 1 through 10 basically that you could see yourself go from that 3-4 area that you've been in all the way down into that 8, 9, 10 if this goes south quick in this stretch. It won't put you out of it by any means long term, but it could cause some panic as you see them move down that ladder a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super stressful. I'm not excited about this because even if it's just throughout this road trip, right? The Suns aren't going to be back home until next Friday. Next Friday. Not this upcoming Friday, but next Friday.
Mhm.
So, well into the new year, a week into the new year essentially. Rick in the chat said he googled groin strain and it said it takes about 4 to 8 weeks. And he said if that's the case, this team is effed. And that would not be ideal. I hope it's not 4 to 8 weeks. I would think it would be a little bit sooner just because we're talking about athletes who are at the tip top of shape that you could be in with access to the top medical and training perspective type of people that you can think of.
Mhm.
So I would hope it wouldn't take that long, but dang, that sucks so much. And to your point, Gerald, it is interesting that it was soreness before and now it is officially a strain.
Right.
So that kind of tells us that they're letting us in a little bit more to the severity of the situation.
Right. And we don't know, to be fair, like the severity of the strain. So that could hamper things. I had a groin injury back in high school and I was out for about two months. So about 8 weeks. But I was not receiving the best physical care in the world that these athletes get. So hopefully it's closer to that 2 to 3 week range if it is something that holds him out for that long. But look, this is a brutal one because not only is Booker out, but the guy that's been filling in for him pretty capably over the last 3 or 4 games is also out now, out of nowhere. Landry Shamet is sitting, and he's coming off literally his best 4-game stretch as a Sun. He's set his new career high at 31 and then tied it again in their last game. He carried the Suns offense for stretches against the Nuggets on Christmas. So that low key or high key, however you want to look at it, hurts tonight because not only are we not going to get our 35 piece, I'm sure Saul's relieved, but like, where are they going to get offense? They're going to need Dwayne Washington to come in and like shoot the lights out or something, or they're going to struggle to score.
Gerald, I'm not going to make fun of your high school groin. I'll leave that alone here. But look, if we're going to use WebMD to diagnose Suns players, I'm a little concerned right now. As you mentioned, world-class athletes and world-class recovery methods hopefully make it a little bit better than the average person or Gerald in high school. So hopefully that's the case.
Person.
But I believe Landry Shamet's out with bruised pride also after the other night. But look, their scoring is going to be weird. Where are you going to get it from? Where's your perimeter scoring going to come from? D. Lee's going to have to be spot on. Dwayne Washington Jr. McHale's going to have to find himself offensively during this stretch. And you really hope that Torrey Craig can bounce back. I think he's running a little bit on fumes right now because he's played such extended minutes at a necessity. A lot of guys are going to have to do a lot of things. I want to know why they haven't, tried to bring somebody in. They still have that 15th roster spot, correct, Gerald?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I get that you can't sign 10 days until January, but we're past the need for a 10-day guy. You need a guy that can hang around on the minimum for as long as you need it. And, and that appears like it could be a month, 2 months at this point, depending on how fast anybody gets back. And I know everybody's like, well, Cam Johnson, 2 weeks from now. Even if Cam Johnson comes back in 2 weeks, you're not getting Cam Johnson pre-injury until he gets time to heal and work his way back into the system. So they need help. And I wonder if they will try to find something with that 15th roster spot.
Well, that's the frustrating thing to me.
Mellow.
Honestly, yes. At this point, like you need an extra body. Why not? Like I know that they use their two-way guys basically as roster guys with Dwayne Washington Jr. and Ish Wainwright, but like you need extra bodies. They had that 15th roster spot all season, and then the 14th spot, Jay Crowder, and then now the 13th spot, Cam Johnson's been out for basically coming up on 2 months. Like, why have we not put any of those three to use? Like, you still have a 15th spot. Just get a guy, even if he's not with you till the end of the season. You need healthy, able bodies at this point. You need someone that can come in off the bench and just give you solid minutes from a health standpoint. So it is kind of frustrating that they haven't done anything with that.
Because you're going to hurt a guy like Torrey Craig by playing him all these minutes simply because you can't play like that this many minutes. So that you're running guys down, which leads to more injuries. It's just a self-fulfilling prophecy right now. It's a tail eating its own snake eating its own tail at this point.
Yeah, and Torrey plays hard minutes too. Like, it's not like he's just out there. Like, he's the guy that's coming in crashing from the 3-point line, flying all over the place, looking for offensive rebounds, banging bodies in the paint with bigger fours. Like, he's taking a beating out there. So you need some extra bodies out there.
Yeah, we definitely do. Okay, before we get into who is starting for the Suns tonight in Devin's place, we have a super chat from Omar. Omar, thank you so much for your super chat.
Oh, wow.
Sent us $50 and said, Merry Christmas, my dudes.
Thanks,
Merry
Omar.
Christmas to you, Omar. We're happy to have you here with us. Hopefully you had a great holiday season. But then Omar also said, Okogie Island tonight, baby. Josh Okogie, 3-point shooter. Let's go. Somebody's got to do it. Why not him? He's been decent. I mean, did anybody anticipate Josh Okogie to be able to knock down threes in the way he has this season whatsoever?
No. I don't need Josh Okogie 3-point shooter. I need Josh Okogie 3-point maker tonight. Like, shooting them is not enough. All right.
He's made quite a few. Give him credit where credit is due us, though. All right. So back to the starting lineup. We're going to see Jock Landale in that starting unit tonight. How are you guys feeling about this one?
This just reinvigorated my interest in this game, because I will be honest with you, heading into this game, I'm anticipating Grizzlies by double digits. Like, I don't think it's going to be pretty. This team is a tough matchup for this team, but they're going with the double big lineup, and that's interesting to me. It's different. They're going to try and combat the Grizzlies' big front line with Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. They got crushed on the offensive glass, second chance points in the paint last time around. I don't know if that's going to keep Ja Morant out of the paint, but it's at least fun. It's something different. We'll see if a double big lineup works. I'm kind of here for it, even though I know it's probably not going to be pretty.
We're at the car wreck portion of the season where we're like, we just want to watch it because God knows what's going to happen. I'm morbidly interested in this when you get Jock Landale and you've got DA out there and Torrey Craig. Like, Mikal Bridges is your shooting guard tonight. All right, buckle up, everybody. This is going to be interesting. Yes, I realize what it looks like. My pennant says with the light and my head positioning. It looks like it says hose. All right, I get it. All right, look, but it's not that. It's Phoenix Suns. I promise you.
I mean, maybe we should make something that says that. That's hilarious. But I really appreciate Aussie Suns Fans Pod in the chat saying, I love that we've made this adjustment. Something different. Mix it up. We're undermanned. Why not? And that's exactly how I feel. And we've actually had conversations about this. When the Suns have dropped a few games in a row earlier this season, why not? You're undermanned. You're already coming in at a deficit. So why not try something just to mix it up? You're at the point in time where Friday night, right? Monty went and said to his players, like, this is the challenge I have for you. You need to come into these games as the aggressor. You can't be coming in all lackadaisical thinking that you're going to be able to dig yourself out of the hole that you allow yourself to get into like it's nothing. You have to come in and you have to hit first. At least try mixing things up. Who knows? Maybe Jock Landale is the spark that this team really desperately needs.
Yeah, and we've only seen this in really small windows throughout the season. They've actually played this dual big lineup in 12 games. I just looked it up, but it's only a total of 9 minutes of game time together.
Not even a minute a game they play.
It's literally like a possession here and there. They're a -5 in those 9 minutes. Not that that really means anything with such a small sample size, but yeah, you're right. Like, if the Suns feel like they're the prey, we saw the other night in Denver, they put up a much better fight. They did still get hit first, but at least they responded. Mix it up tonight. Try and hit them with some physicality with a guy who's not afraid to punish guys down low in Jock Landale. See if the dual big lineup can work. Neither one of DA or Jock is a really good 3-point shooter, so the spacing is going to be a little cramped out there, but you're already missing Book and Shamit and all these guys, Cam Johnson, that can shoot threes, so might as well try something different. Try and hit them with a little physicality right off the bat.
Yeah,
and Ozzy, Yeah, go ahead, Espo.
I was just gonna say, Ozzy Suns fan pod made a good point. Said Warriors face the Grizz or force the Grizz to shoot from outside, particularly Ja. Clogging up the paint worked for them. I'm interested to see how it plays out.
Mhm.
Look, we're laughing about it just because it feels like a break glass in case of emergency kind of situation here. But honestly, I applaud Monty for trying something different, for looking at this and going, okay, something similar worked for the Warriors. Uh, we'll see how it plays out. But what it really says to me too is Dario has fallen out of favor even further, because usually this would be a spot where they're like, we'll go Dario here as well to have, two bigs, quote unquote, out there. And he's fallen out of favor in that case. And you're looking to Jock, who has throughout the year brought energy, brought toughness, brought hard-nosed play off the bench or in the few spot starts he's gotten. This is going to be adjustment for both him and DA to figure out the spacing. But if they can get it where it's at least passable, you might have something that in this particular matchup could go far.
Yeah, because with Dario, you don't get as much physicality as you can with some of the other bigs on this team. Even if we're looking at Bismack, which we saw that Biz and DA just didn't really work that well. So trying something different with Jock in there. But with Dario, I feel like you just don't have the physicality that you need to hang in there against the Grizzlies.
Dario's a traffic cone at this point. Like, I love Dario. I wish that, okay. I love that the guy puts forth the effort. All right. I've never thought he was a center, but none of that's important right now. I wish the guy could have come back and played the way that we saw him, but right now he's not that dude, and running him back out there at times seems to have done absolutely nothing for you. So, playing Jock here seems to be the counter move to that. And I don't know if we'll even see Dar. You might have to, just out of simple numbers at this point, but I don't know how effective that'll continue to be.
I think with Dario, the Suns are in a tough spot because they're realizing very quickly that Dario at the 4 at this stage of his career post-injury is just not going to work. And it probably wouldn't have worked that well before the injury either. He's never been the quick-footed guy or the laterally mobile guy that you need to be to play the 4. Part of what made him effective as a small ball center was his skill set, the ability to handle, swing the ball, shoot, make plays for others. At the 4, like, guys are too quick and too strong for that, especially with his lack of speed now. So it's tough because where are you going to play him? You have 3 able centers right now. That's the only position where the Suns are really healthy. So you might see him at the 4 a little bit tonight just because of those dual big lineups that the Grizzlies like to run. But it's a really tough spot for him to be in at this stage of his career, playing basically out of position at that 4 spot.
All right, gentlemen, now that we know all the different things going on in tonight's game, who you got and by how much?
Oh boy, I got the Grizzlies by 10, and it honestly could be more than that. I'm a little concerned.
I love that I'm the optimistic one going Grizzlies by 5.
I've got Grizzlies by 7. I think this might be the second time this whole entire season that I've picked the opponent to win. I just think it's going to be a really tough game for the Suns. It's going to be a really tough game for them.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. It's tough to find a positive here tonight. I'd love to sit here and try to, put the tinfoil hat on, draw some lines and tell you this is the path to victory. I don't know what that path to victory is. Heart, hustle, and just outworking the Grizz and them having a horrible shooting night is probably your path to victory in this game. If you want to talk long-term, if the Suns come back healthy, there's all sorts of potential and promise, but I'm not dealing 2 months from now. I'm looking here, and tonight's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I want to see 2 things tonight out of tonight's game. I don't even care about a win or a loss or what the margin is. I want to see the Suns respond the way they did on Christmas Day, because you'll remember it was after the Grizzlies game when they gave up 72 points in the paint, like 19 offensive rebounds and 22 second chance points, that Monty went kind of on his rant about challenging his team and how they felt like the prey. It was against this Grizzlies team. I want to see if less than a week later they can take that challenge to heart again and put out a better showing with less guys than they did the first time around. And I want to see Mikal and DA kind of step up tonight. Like we've talked about Mikal, he's only shooting 39% from the field in December. He's been really rough recently. And with DA, he got pushed around on the offensive glass by Steven Adams last game. I want to see that physicality. I want to see him hold Adams off the glass. And I want to see him continue to score the way he's been scoring without Book on the court. That's the only way that they're going to be even remotely competitive tonight, is if those two guys show up and if this whole team takes that challenge from the last Grizzlies meeting personally and plays, go out and hit somebody first.
Well, look, I think that actually is one positive that you take, that Mikal and DA have nowhere to hide anymore. If they want to figure this out, if they want to prove that they can be consistent, and we had that argument the other night, I don't think either of them have been consistent. I don't care if you get 7 games out of DA where he looks good. It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th games that I'm concerned about historically with him. So right now they have to come up big, and in reality, we're no longer arguing who's the number 2. We're saying who's the number 1 right now. And it's got to be DA or Mikal, and it may have to be that for a week, 2 weeks. We don't know. And you can't expect, as much as Shamet was spectacular, you can't expect guys like him and Damian Lee and the Josh Okogis of the world to be the ones that carry you. Those 2 guys have to prove it. And you're right, Gerald, this is their opportunity to show.
Amelia in the chat said, I hope they don't lose a lot on my birthday. I hope they don't either, Amelia, and happy birthday. We're happy to have you here celebrating with us. Hopefully we'll be able to have more fun in the post-game show. I did find this really interesting. Matt said, well, can't wait to see all of you in the comments at the end of the game. Should be fun, which is hilarious because I also on Sunday on Christmas night, somebody was like, I can't wait to see what this show looks like when the Suns are on a terrible losing streak and aren't one of the better teams in the league anymore. And it got me thinking all day yesterday. I was like, what is our show going to look like? Well, I'm just giving you guys a heads up now. I'm just going to make jokes about everything. I'm not going to take anything seriously. And we're going to give out a shit ton of flowers to whoever that one person is that does anything positive. So that's where I'm going to be.
Would you like a preview of what the show will be like?
I've
got it queued up. The Phoenix Suns are the worst team in the NBA. Wembanyama, come on down.
Oh, we're back in 2018 and I hate it.
I love it. I mean, I don't love being back in 2018, but I love the way that we're approaching this, you guys.
We're bringing the energy. It's just going to be a total different way we bring it.
All right. What does Vegas think about tonight's game, Espo? Who is the favorite?
They're more optimistic than I think we feel right now. They've got the Grizzlies by 8, and some are saying, how is that not double digits? I don't know either, but DraftKings feels it's an 8-point game.
That's not too bad, I guess. I did think, okay, this is new as far as what I recall looking on the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. When I was on there earlier, it was showing you percentages of what gamblers are putting their money on. And earlier today was 82% of people who had placed a bet on this game were for Memphis winning. And then whatever the remainder of that is, what, like 12%?
18, you said 82%?
82, yeah, so it'd be 18, you're right.
18% is a bunch of degenerates. Shane has probably got his money on the Suns tonight because it's plus money on the money line. So
yeah, exactly. So I just thought that was interesting, like I don't know if it's a new feature, if it's just something that I finally realized was on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, but I thought it was interesting. So what did you put down for your DraftKings bet of the game, Espo? Because I struggled to find one today.
I'm taking Deandre Ayton over 0.5 threes at plus 410 because who the hell is going to shoot him? There's not many guys, and him and Jock are probably going to chuck a few of them. We've seen DA make them. I'll take it at plus 410.
Okay, that's not a bad strategy. I picked DA for the first field goal at a plus 475 because, like I said, when we start losing players, like even on Sunday in the post game, somebody had mentioned that you can't bet on Landry Shamet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and I think this is normal for them because obviously the further you go down the bench, you don't have as much information around these guys in order to set the lines or whatever appropriately. But we are further down the bench as far as who's playing for the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
So you go on any given day, like today, and there's 7 different Grizzlies players you can put a bet on, and there's like 3 Suns players that you can pick from. And even sometimes you have to wait till a little bit later in the day for it to even get up to 3. I think when I was looking earlier, it was Chris Paul and DA, and those were the only 2 that were available, which makes it a little less exciting for us. But we found some good ones for you guys.
That's like 2/5 of the healthy guys on the roster. I mean, so
Right.
I understand.
It's probably because they don't know who the hell is going to be suiting up for the Suns at this point.
They're like, Ish Wainwright, over 0.6 points tonight. Who's got him? Yeah, like they don't know what to do.
Exactly. Speaking of suiting up, Espo, what are the Suns wearing tonight? What are we rocking out there?
God, it just keeps getting worse. It's the White Association editions, which basically has been their worst uniform when it comes to record this year. Other unis are catching up now, but this is usually you can just mark the L in the column there. So at least they're keeping up with tradition tonight with what they're wearing. And Memphis has got the really cool city editions. Usually I crap on the opposing team's uniforms. I really like these Memphis City editions.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. And the Suns, they're 3-7 in the whites this year. So I'm predicting a 3-8 after tonight.
All right. Well, I got bad news for you guys because they're on a really long road trip, and usually they don't bring every single jersey on the road. They usually kind of schedule it to where they bring 1 or 2 different, maybe 2, 3, depending on how long the trip is. And this is a pretty long trip. But they started off with the turquoise jerseys, which I don't think that they'll be wearing again on this trip. Maybe they will one more time. But there were only like 5 games left, I think, midway through December that they had scheduled to wear those jerseys. So it looks like we might be getting a lot of the white jerseys throughout this road trip. So prepare yourself mentally.
Their funeral procession uniforms. All right.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. One thing that we'll see new on the court tonight are some sneakers. Ja Morant's shoe finally came out. Nike shoe. Obviously, we knew that Ja Morant and Devin Booker were likely the next 2 players to get shoes with Nike, and Ja obviously got his first. But what do you guys think of these shoes?
I personally really like them, and I like the way they unveiled them. I also really like the Ja logo that they came up with.
Yeah.
The J and A in the font that they used. It got me excited in particular because I can't wait to see what they do with Book and what input he has, because he's going to come out with that first shoe, something special. Because this one, I believe for Ja, tied to his daughter, who actually helped give him the first shoe as part of the unveil. I know Book will come with something special too.
Yeah, I love the look of the shoe. I love the meaning behind it. And I was kind of bummed reading the explanation as far as, him being overlooked, early in his career. I was like, damn, that was like the tagline we would have wanted for Book's shoe. But
hold on. Was he really overlooked? Wasn't he taken number 2 overall?
He was the number 2 pick. And ever since he's been in the league, he's been one of the most exciting players. He was listed in MVP talks as early as his 3rd year or whatever it was. So I don't know about that part. I was kind of like, I feel like that would have gone better with Book's shoe, but I love the logo. I love the shoe itself. And I'm happy for Ja. I like Espo. I am really excited that what they did for Ja, what are they going to do for Book? It's going to be really cool, I think.
I just hope that whatever Devin's shoe is, it is a shoe that, because obviously it's a basketball shoe first, right? Like that has to be the number 1 priority. I understand.
I would hope so.
But I still hope that it's got enough streetwear to it as well, to where people can rock it without feeling like a little out of place because I'm wearing a basketball shoe with jeans.
Right.
You know what I mean?
My guess is he'll have some fashion line along with whatever his on-court shoe is. Nike won't miss out on that. And we already saw him with the Moss Point shoe that they came out with. That was a on the court shoe. So I think you'll get a little bit of both. My guess is they'll have a very similar feel and kind of look to Kobe's, because those are the ones that Devin loves to wear and bought back stock of, so he can continue to wear them. So I think the foundation of them, at least, are gonna fit and feel a lot like those original Kobe's, because that's what Book loves to wear.
Yeah, you're probably pretty spot on with that assessment there, Espo. But guys, we got to go. We got a game to watch. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to join us right back here after this one wraps up, and maybe we'll work on our stand-up, our little comedy bits, have something prepared for you guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.